Alright, we're going into project number 2 for this little Bayou snorkel. After riding it a little bit, have discovered that I am getting, some people might complain about it, some people wouldn't. I'm one of those people that I'm real particular about how my bike runs. A little stumble right off the first gear because I don't have quite enough airflow out of that 1.5 inch pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second pipe, the opposite side of the air box, in here. I have had a couple of people ask specifically what fittings I use, especially for like the air box. You can probably see that pretty good. Got that from Lowe's. That particular fitting is a 1.5 inch, but it will clamp all the way up to the edge of the fitting. That way it clamps the box very well. And something else I discovered while I was at Lowe's was these tub drain gaskets, which happen to be perfect for putting on this guy to seal to the air box. So hopefully this time when I put it all together I can use those gaskets instead of using RTV sealant. Another thing was the cool little rubber gaskets that I use basically come like this with this metal doohickey around, which you don't need, and just use it like that. Very flexible, very easy to work with. They're great for putting snorkels on four-wheelers, I think. Of course, all the other stuff, there are different types of 90s, one with and without the female end on it, 90s, 45s. I think that gives you a good tour of all the parts. Maybe somebody's watching this video and wants to know exactly what I used. I hope that'll help. One of the things I got to do is I got to relocate this little rectifier. This mounted to the side of the box. Put it somewhere. Probably going to put it back there somewhere. Okay, I relocated the rectifier, or what I believe to be called the rectifier anyway, down here. That's the guy right there. I made me a little bracket, mount the guy on, and took a nice big fat worm clamp and stuck on there. It shouldn't get in the way of tires because it is behind the shock. So hopefully that'll be a good spot. This is actually the second night I've been trying to work on this thing. I didn't get very far the other night, but I have come up with a couple of solutions. And there's the blue flexible tubing. Of all the information I've looked online and stuff, nobody ever really said, hey, go to Lowe's and buy 2-inch vacuum tubing like you use for these shop vacs, which is actually what I got. For people that want to know in the future, that's what I went and got. That'll do what you want to do for giving you some flex around some stuff that you couldn't get with a hard pipe. Basically, my plan is to, once I get it through this little area here, which is where I've been having such a hard time getting it past, it may not look like it would be that difficult, but hard piping it was very difficult. So probably going to come up to about here, and then I'll hook it back into my hard pipe again. One thing I will say, if I could back up and do it again, knowing what I know now, I might have bought some of this blue tubing to get past the other side over here like I had to do with hard pipe. But you live and you learn. Second time around, might not have done all that. Okay, so took my black silicone, RTV silicone, which is very pliable, like it, good gasket sealer, and just coated it around the connector there. I actually put a little bit of the pipe cement in there before I shoved the pipe up in there too. I've decided to keep running that tube right on up. Probably going to break it somewhere in this area and then hard pipe up to the hole that I just drilled in the fender. That way I don't have to worry so much about this stuff getting collapsed by something getting slung up by the tire or whatever. There you go, guys. Basically, it ain't the prettiest, and I'll probably put a little extra RTV around the base of it just to make sure it's sealed up good, but there you go. And I'm going to slip that guy right up into there. Alright guys, that's the finished connection there. Probably going to take a strap or some kind and try to anchor this guy up here a little bit, because I would rather it be a little bit more stable than what it is. I'm not real happy with the loose fitting deal I got going here. Granted, it's not going to hurt anything, but that's just me. So I'll figure something out there, and then we'll continue on with the project. I got another air box. That's the old one. This is the new one. I've already drilled my holes in it to set up for the 2 snorkel pipes. But, and there's another reason why I did that. I kind of messed this one up accidentally doing some other stuff. So, you know, hey, sometimes those things happen. But I put 2 drain cocks in the bottom of the air box to make it easier to drain the water out of the air box, or fuel if the carburetor floods, which I found out happened last time I went riding at Carolina Adventure World, which I plan on going back. But this will make it a lot easier to drain than the bolts I had in the other one. So thought I might point that out. That's a good, I think it's a good idea. Put a little thread lock on it, make sure they're sealed good. One thing you'll also notice is you see my gaskets that I put around these fittings that should seal up against the air box rather well on both pipes now. Okay, that is the new box installed with the other side. Plugs in the bottom. I took a couple of straps, pulled it over to that same anchor like I was going for the other side, and then right through the fender like the other one did. Alright guys, basically you can see here, this is my, this is going to be the top part of my snorkel. Got a little more involved with building and setting up this time than I did the last time I did this. I actually got it tuned now to where it'll run with exactly this much pipe above the fenders. One of the things I decided to do though was I'm going to put this pipe in between the 2 snorkels on the fender to stabilize everything, keep it from moving this way, and also kind of make the whole thing not so wobbly and hold it up straight so it looks good. But one thing I did do was I put these little plastic caps in this pipe. Now the reason that is without the plastic caps, you've got a crossover flow of air between the 2 sides. And I actually tried it with the caps, without the caps, and found that it ran worse with the crossover. I'm guessing maybe some type of vacuum issue. So what I did was I got these little, I call them test caps. Basically what they do is they're used for plumbing. You can find them at Lowe's. Pop one in each end. I'm going to go ahead and put some weather strip adhesive right on the inside edge of the cap and glue them in. Once I do that, I'll put these guys together and then it'll be good. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, there you go. That is the finished snorkel. So I guess to summarize, 2 1.5 inch snorkel pipes going in the air box, 115 thousandths jet, went up to a 120, stepped up the metering rod 1 notch, and that's pretty much it. I hope I left enough detail in this video to where you can go do it yourself. And even if you're not doing a Kawasaki, a lot of the information, a lot of lessons I learned doing this one, I hope will help me in the next one that I do on a bigger bike, because I would like to have a bigger bike. And I'm going to just turn my girlfriend loose on this one. But she won't mind. Anyway guys, appreciate you watching. This is a longer video than the last one I did. I hope there was a lot of good information in it.